before. Okay, perfect. You just started recording.
Yeah, I think you can just go in to start like sharing your story and everything so everyone that wasn't or was here yesterday could also hear yours, and then we can just kind of all piggyback and flow in from that.
Yeah, this is gonna bug me. It's not elevated. Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I wasn't able to make it last night. I was still with family, so I wanted to start off with saying my story. I'm excited. I know my team probably has heard my story about a billion times, so I apologize, but I will explain. So my name is Macy, and first off, I just want to say a huge shout out to those of you who are here and showing up for your business, because that's going to show what you're going to take a step forward for next year. It's already giving you a step ahead. And so if you haven't like texted your team, go ahead and text them. But either way, I'm grateful for everybody who has hopped on. But my name is Macy, and I'm super excited to be a part of this. Us leaders got together, so I just love these leaders that are on here hosting this. But if you don't know me, my name is Macy, and I've been in this business 5 years. And I like to tell my story because it gives people a different perspective, because my story is a little bit, I feel like I took a couple of detours, compared to a lot of people. You hear a lot of people in this journey who promote really quickly and who have a lot of success in the front end and who, rise to the top super, super quickly. And that wasn't the case for me. And honestly, I want to say it still isn't, but I don't like claiming that over myself. Like, I'm very happy with where I'm at. The growth this year has been incredible. And so, hold on, I'm sorry. One of my distributors is trying to come on. Hold on. I'm texting her how to hop on. But anyway, so I took a detour and I joined this business 5 years ago. I joined honestly just for an extra $100 in gas money. I didn't really believe that it would work for me just because I came from a very broken background. My family had zero money. I literally helped my mom started paying bills when I was 16. I had a job since I was 16. I was a server. And even then, I couldn't make ends meet. I was struggling so, so badly. And I remember giving my father the call and my mom the call, and I was like, hey, I'm struggling so bad. I'm in college, I'm trying to do all these things, trying to pay for school, all these things. Can I just at least have $20 for gas to get home? I was 2 hours away from home at the time, and both of them said, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but no, I can't. And so hopefully that relates to a lot of people, because you don't have to come from success. You don't have to come from a background who all these people in your family, taught you how to do these things, or there's so many different stories that you can tell. And so I came from a really broken background, and I just joined for gas money. So fast forward, during that time, I promoted. It took me a year to go Ruby, you guys, a freaking year. And when I say a year, it was like a month over a year. And that was honestly my fault. It didn't have anything to do with the company itself. It was more of, I was content with $100, and that's really all I believed that I could do. And so once I saw Morgan McIntyre Martin, now she's my leader, once I saw her earn the diamond bonus, I was like, oh my gosh, I have for real FOMO. Like, I can do this too. Like, she's my friend. She's from my hometown. I can do this. And so 5 months or 6 months later after that, I went to conference. Conference changed my life. And then I promoted to Diamond. And I sat at Diamond for 2 years. I can't even lie to you guys and say that Diamond, I went back and forth, maintaining, dropping all the way down to executive, having $100 paycheck, and then going back up to the average of what Diamond's supposed to be, and then dropping back down again. I lost Diamond probably 15 times. And with all that to say, it's not to sit here and discourage you and say, hey, it's super, super okay to lose rank. It's super normal. You're gonna go through that, because not some people don't. But I just like to tell you my story, because sometimes like success is like this. But if I would have given up from the times that I had lost rank, I wouldn't be where I am today. And today I am debt free. I was able to pay off my school this September, and that was something I never thought I'd be able to do. That was the most money I've ever seen in my life. I earned bonuses, and after I maintained Diamond for a full year, I went double. And again, same exact story. I went double, lost rank again, time and time again. And I sat there for a year for double, and I lost rank, got it back, and then lost it again. And then I promoted to triple this summer. And so, but with all that to be said, it wasn't like I sat there and went all the way to earning $1 again. When I got double and I lost it, it wasn't like a huge dip. It was never like that because I think it was a shift in my mindset. And I don't know, I could go on and on days and days to tell you about my story, but I just want to kind of paint you a picture that it's not always picture perfect, but I've been able to cross off things. I was never, you know, a presidential, you don't have to be presidential or ambassador or black diamond to be able to pay off debt and be completely financially free and own your own time. And now this year is the first year I've ever done this business just fully alone. And it's been a blessing. I've been able to triple my income and maintain it and be successful and lead others. And I don't know. I guess I could just go on and on, but just to paint you a picture, it's not always perfect, but I know that I'm exactly where I need to be. I've made more this year than I ever have in my entire life, and I've made more than my family ever has. Like my mom and I were doing taxes, and she couldn't even claim me anymore because she was like, "You made more than me." It's insane what can happen if you keep going. And I think that's what makes the difference between me and other people who maybe saw the rank loss or saw the paycheck loss and didn't stick with it, because business is like this sometimes, you guys. I've been in business before. I was even in a restaurant. I was a bartender for years, and we had seasons. We had seasons where times were a little bit rougher. Like it was hard to make $100 per shift. And then some days you go in and make 400. It just fluctuates like that. And so just to kind of go off of that with what we're going to talk about tonight is consistency. And I don't know, do y'all want me to just kind of full-fledged go into the tips that I was going to ask, or did anybody have specific questions?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, you can just go right into your tips and everything. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. So something I want to go over as to what changed from this year to now, because I'm shooting for presidential. Our team is shooting for presidential. And you guys, when I tell y'all that this year alone, even though with the pandemic and all these crazy things that have happened, this has been the best year of my entire business, of my team's entire business. My team has earned more than they've ever earned in their life. They've been more consistent. They've been able to bring their hubbies home. Like, oh my gosh, you don't even understand. And I've talked to all the leaders in this business, and everybody's like, this has been the best year yet. Like, I can't even explain. It's been amazing. And so many times before, I was always scared to take the leap of faith to fully rely on this business. And it wasn't because I was afraid of the paychecks or anything like that. It was fully just my own concerns. I just was stubborn. And so anyways, so I actually decided to do this business full time in September. But before that, I was like, something has got to change. I see people who, I see Cheyenne, I see Morgan, I see all these people who are super, super successful. And every single time I would ask them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling. Like my team doesn't want this, or my volume's dropping, or my paycheck's dropping. What are you doing? And every person, you know what they say? Consistency. Consistency is literally the thing that they repeat every single time. And sometimes it's like you want to rip your hair out because you're looking for a certain answer, and you want to hear of something that's just going to like ring bells in your ears. That's going to be like, oh, that clicks. Thank you for at least giving me a different answer. No, every single person I talked to Susan Wade. I talked to Cami Pentecost. I talked to literally all the people. Cheyenne and I had a face call, not Cheyenne on this Zoom, but Cheyenne Knox. Morgan, like you can name it, Kelly Brown, all these people. And every single time I asked them, they were just like, consistency. It's not you work harder, it's you work smarter. And I was like, oh. And I finally heard that. I don't know, it was probably like the 16th millionth time that someone told me that, and it just clicked, because I was tired of sitting back and realizing that I wasn't being consistent this entire time. And when I thought of consistency, I literally thought, oh, you mean kill yourself for a month and then the next month take off? That's what that means. And now I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was doing it wrong this whole entire time. And I do think that obviously everything happens for a reason, but if it would have clicked earlier for me, I 100% probably would be Black Diamond right now. And I'm just claiming that over myself because I'm just being real honest. But like for real, if it would have clicked with me back then and I would have been consistent every single day like I have been this year, the past 5 years, y'all, everybody would know who my name was, okay? Mark would literally ask me to be on his boat and at his house and all these things. So, you know, everything happens for a reason. I'm blessed for where I'm at. But it was something that clicked this year, and I was like, okay, so you mean like work every day, but not sit here and work 24 hours on your phone, not sit here and work like, you know, 14 days straight and not go to sleep and not bathe and not eat and not take care of yourself, and then the rest of the 14 days not work at all. That's not consistency. What I mean in consistency, it genuinely is just doing the steps you need to do daily, and that's going to build up. And this is kind of something, a tip that I'll give you guys that maybe y'all can do, because it's something I had to prove to myself. But what I personally did to learn how to be consistent was I just started really small, and I got this tip from Rachel Hollis. But she wrote it in a book, and she was like, look, if you've never been consistent a day in your life, and I was like, oh, preach, you're talking to me. She's like, start with something small. I personally love Diet Coke. So you know what I did? I sat here and I challenged myself for 30 days to not drink a Diet Coke. And this was her. And I was like, oh my gosh, girl, I love Coke. You know, like I freaking love Coke. I will drink one every single day. Cheyenne, it's kind of like your Dr. Pepper. And I was like, okay, if I can prove to myself that I won't drink a Coke for 30 days straight, because it takes about 21, 23 days to break a habit, make a habit, things like that. I did it for 30 days. And you guys, I drink a Coke, but when I actually like feel bad, or like when I have a headache or something like that, it's never like, oh, let me go get a 12 pack and put it in the fridge and let me drink them every single day. I proved to myself that I can do that. Next step, I was like, okay, let me take it a step further. Let me exercise for at least 15 minutes a day. If I can prove to myself that I can at least get my body moving for 15 minutes a day, I know that I'll be able to do it for an hour a day eventually. I started doing that, and I have been able to be consistent for the past 4 months in exercising. I feel good. I'm not saying like I look amazing or anything, because I'm not where I want to be, but I feel better. I look better. I'm using our products consistently, and it's really led me into other areas in my life where I can be consistent. And so if you aren't consistent, I challenge you to start really small with something. But that's personally, it's so simple. And I want to read y'all something, and then I'll move on to whoever else wants to talk. But I know that sometimes it's like really annoying when you hear something over and over again. You're like, okay, I get it, but can you give me the steps? But this is just to prove to you, it's a leadership book, and it's actually the introduction of this John Maxwell book. And it says, what is the key to being successful? What separates people who achieve much from those who merely get by? It's what they do every single day. And then it drops down and it says, investment in yourself every day of this year is what you need to do. And investing in yourself is being consistent every day with the daily habits that you do. And it says, you cannot grow unless you're willing to change, and you will not change unless you change something you do every day. My prayer is that, then that goes into talking about this book, but it does say, and you will not change unless you change something you do every single day. So if you're one of those ones that is like, y'all, I'm consistent, I do something every single day, and then you look back at your task and you only posted once a week, and then you said that you messaged every single day and you actually track it and you've only sent one message a day, that's not being consistent. Being consistent is really being dedicated to something every single day. And even if it's super, super small, it'll build momentum. And I can tell you guys that my team this year, next year, we're going to be Ambassador 2.0. Like, I have absolutely no doubt this December, because we were consistent for the entire year. Normally December, obviously, like if you've been in this business for a while, you know, December's not like the slow month. Honestly, hasn't been a slow month for me, but December goes a little bit like this, you know, because holidays and stuff. Our team steadily keeps going up, and I mean that wholeheartedly, and it's because we have all been consistent. It's not killing ourselves every single day, staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning and waking up at 6 a.m. and doing it all over again. No, it's consistency, and you'll see every single day that I post, that I talk about the business, that I show my face, that I do the things that I need to be done. And guess what? My paycheck continues to go up. Our team's paychecks continue to go up, and I bet you next year we're going to triple our incomes. So that's what I have to say on consistency. Hopefully I did not go over in time, but there you go.
No, that was, I have no words. Literally everything you just said was so perfect. I was over here like, yes, exactly. And there was a couple of things I wanted to like pinpoint on what you said too, like before I go into my stuff and everything. But I just loved what you said, how like you were talking about like how like December, the season, like you kind of go like this, but you're like, no, like my team is like slowly going up. I feel that like 100%. And I can probably speak for all of our teams right now and just saying like, it's not like that. And it's just crazy to see, because I remember like times in my business and like this like time of the year where I was like, ooh, just like sliding down the hill, and it's like, no, like we all got our freaking hiking boots on and like we are ready to freaking go. Like I just love that so much. But it's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight was basically just like burnout, which it was kind of funny because Macy was like touching on that. And I literally like laughed. I don't know if you saw me, but I actually laughed out loud whenever you were saying like kill yourself for a month and then take a month off, because like that was me for like literally the like so long in my business. And once I like flipped that switch, that's when like a lot of things started changing for me. But the first thing I want to say, just like a question, and I want you guys to type a 1 in the chat if you can relate to this, but or if you vibe with this. But if you could make $500 to $5,000 a month doing 6 to 7 tasks every single day, would you do them? Like if you knew that that is the monthly paycheck you were going to be receiving anywhere, even above, it doesn't have to just be only 5,000. We're going higher. If you could just do those 5 to 7 tasks, 6, whatever, drop a 1. Okay. All y'all guys are dropping 1. Beautiful grammar right there. So that's like, why are you not doing them? You know? And like, I mean that with so much love. Like y'all know, like, I mean that with so much love. Why are you not doing them? Is it really not worth it to you? I mean, it's fine if it's not, but you know, and if it is, you're like, girl, like, no, you're like, it's worth it. I want you to start tracking your task. Y'all know me from last night. I'm a green. I love me some checklist with some boxes and check marks, all of the things. But what I challenge you guys to do is, if you are seriously wanting to take like your consistency, your discipline to the next level, start tracking your task. And if you just need to start with 1, just to kind of start with 1, you know, like there's nothing wrong with that, but just start, friends, please stay muted, please. Thank you. I'm getting squirrel brain over here. But just start to like, just can't even talk. Start doing 1 task and track it every single day. I know what I did whenever, like, with my business was I got like a checklist and I was like, okay, what's going to work with me? You guys don't have to use the same one. You don't have to use the same 10 KPI tracker or whatever. You can literally make whatever you want. I made mine on Over. Like I literally just made a graphic on Over. At the very bottom of it has my 7 tasks, and it has a Sunday through Saturday little block at the bottom. And I personally work everything off of my iPad. That's where like all my trackers and planners and all that kind of stuff is. Print it out on paper, put it out on your phone or like anywhere, but like get it out and actually start tracking your task. And I feel like that's going to like really, really help with that. Cause I know for me, that's what built the consistency for me, just like actually being able to see me doing the task every single day. And I mean, even there's still some days where I'm like, oh, I didn't follow like for the last 3 days, like, okay. So it's like, I know that I have to pick that up on my end, you know? So I just encourage you guys to do that. But kind of going into what I was actually supposed to be talking about, I really wanted to touch on burnout, because this is something I experienced like super, super heavily in my business, and it was not good. And I just hope that you guys, I hope my words just speak through me all in the right ways so that you guys can like soak them all up like a sponge and just take this in your own business, because I never want any of you guys to feel like that. I would literally not put that feeling on anyone. So in January of 2019, that was when I was like, I am going triple diamond. You know, when you just like wake up and you're just like convicted, like you feel it in every single bone in your body. That I was feeling that. And so a couple weeks later, I went to class and I was trying to sign up a customer on my laptop in like the back of like the lecture hall. And my professor was like, hey, like you need to get off of your computer. And I was like, and nope, and something clicked in me and I dropped out. And then from that moment, I literally just went full force in this business. And I know like that's like so random, but I do just want to say you can go VIP and above working a full-time job and going to school full-time. I don't want you guys to think that you're like never going to hit it because you're in school or you work. No, that is not the case at all. That's just personally the decision that I made for myself in that moment. So just wanted to preface that real quick. But for me, it was literally a nonstop work for 90 days. Exactly what Macy just explained to you guys, like killing yourself is in like not eating, not sleeping, not taking care of yourself. That was the epitome of my 90 days pushing to triple. I almost said presidential, so I'm manifesting it for myself, but that's fine. So I was literally living off of keto coffee and pizza rolls. And if you knew me at this time, you knew that, because like it was like every hour I'm like, oh, made another coffee, made another 15 pizza rolls, because like that's literally all I was doing. It was literally pizza rolls, keto coffee, and work. And it was the late nights, early mornings, all of the things. And just being like fully transparent with you guys, I literally stayed up from March 24th to March 30th. I did not sleep because I did not want to miss my promotion. And it, like, looking back at it now, I literally just, like, I hate talking about it because I'm like, why would you do that to yourself? You guys, I don't even remember promoting. I had my leaders were here. I had girls on my team at my apartment at the time. I do not remember it. It was a literal blackout. And I mean that like so seriously. I was miserable. Like, I was literally miserable. And once that time came, we promoted, and it was like, oh my God, took the first shower in the month. Like, holy crap. And I just remember like standing in the shower and I was like, I don't want to, this is no. Like, I honestly wasn't even excited because I was like, great, I get to sleep, you know? And like, you guys, it's not supposed to be like that. This business is so much fun, you know? And if you guys are feeling that, like, I please just don't. And so basically from that time, I like celebrated my promotion and everything, and I absolutely stopped until November or April 25th when I had a girl promoting Diamond on my team. And she was like, hey, like, I'm gonna go Diamond. And I was like, holy crap, I literally haven't worked at all. And it was like a switch flips, and I literally sat on my couch and I worked and I was enrolling and I helped her go Diamond, and then I literally stopped working until like October. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It was not okay. It was not good. So basically, in that time, I got High Performance Habits sent to me. It's a book, and I would love to show it to you guys, but it's actually holding up my ring light right now. So it's a book. His name is Brendon Burchard, I think is how you pronounce it. It's an amazing book, High Performance Habits. So I'm going to put that in the chat. High Performance Habits. Okay. Such a great book. And within this book, it just kind of like lit a different fire underneath me because it was teaching me how, yes, Macy, I'm going to pin her video real quick. Hang on one minute, friend. Yes, that is the book. It's the Audible, but same difference. It's what the cover looks like too. So, yeah, basically that book completely changed my business for me. And around that time is also when the Margaritaville promotion got, announced, and I was like, oh, I'm earning a spot. And it was, again, just like a switch flipped. And from that time, I literally went from like nothing to 100% full force and earning my trip to Margaritaville. And I ended up earning one of the top 150 spots for that. And I got like announced at conference. And again, I stopped until December. And I wish I could tell you guys why. There is no excuse. But the one thing that I had learned from that to now is a consistent pace. Consistent pace. That is all it was. It is just working at a consistent pace that you personally can handle for whatever you got going on. That pace for me is different than Macy's pace, is different than Katie's pace, is different than Allie's pace. It's different for everyone. But I have been working at this consistent pace for all of 2020. And I will say that my end of the month is like a little bit like more, just because like end of the month, you guys all understand what's happening and everything. But I don't have to feel like I need to take a week off because I'm just back at this consistent pace. It was just like a little bit of a push, you know, and like whenever we have like promotions and stuff and everything, it's the same thing. It's just like a little bit of an extra push, but it was completing my checklist every single day for the things that I wanted to focus on. And like another thing I want to say, I know I kind of touched on this earlier, but you guys don't have to do the 10 KPI list. You don't have to use that. And that was one thing that I think I just now kind of, or earlier in this year kind of realized was like, I don't have to follow like the exact same checklist. I can focus on the things that I want to focus on in my business, you know? And if you've been in this business a little bit of time, you know what those tasks are. And even if you're not, and you're like, I don't really know like what to do, just talk to your leader, text any of us. We are literally all here to help you guys. But just focusing on those specific tasks every single day, scheduling out my time to where I'm like setting boundaries and all of those kind of things, which that's like a whole different conversation. But I was completely focused on that specific checklist. And that was basically all it took for me. Like that was the whole difference. And I hope that makes sense. And I just, again, like I wanted to touch on the burnout point because it's really, really hard. And I mean, even like last year for me, it got to the point where I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Like I love my team. I love these people. I love the products. I love everything, but like, this isn't fun. And that was to the point where it was, and something had to change. because like it just was not okay. Yeah, and that's just kind of like the difference was to me. I hope that helps if any of you guys are feeling like that, or if anything, can just put little tidbits in your brain for a future reference. But yeah, I hope that helped answer some questions and all of that kind of sorts. But Allie, I believe you are up next, and you should be able to unmute yourself, friend.
Yeah, it let me. If my Wi-Fi hates me, just continue on without me. I'm not going to claim that over myself, but I'm also not going to pretend like it doesn't happen. So, hi guys. I'm so excited to be doing this again tonight, and I have to mention my super cheesy reasoning behind picking us wearing gold tonight, okay? And I actually thought of another reason while I was eating dinner. So I put it in the chat, consistency is gold, but also when I was eating dinner, I was like, gold, that's what champions get at the end of a race. And I was like, literally goosebumps, head to toes, like, wow, because what a race this year has been. And I think consistency, there's like a metaphor that goes around where like success is not a race, it's a marathon or something like that. And it's just stuck with me for a while because I had a really difficult journey with consistency, not in the fact that I didn't know what to do and I didn't know how to do things, but I thought that it was just a means to an end. And I think that's the saying. Words are hard today. And so I would be consistent. And then when I wasn't seeing enrollments right away, I would get discouraged and be like, well, I'm not going to do it anymore because I'm not enrolling like I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be doing. Whatever supposed to be means. I don't know what that meant to me. I was comparing. Had this idea of I'm like my red shows itself, my red personality, and I'm so extremely hard on myself. So to me, literally, like if I'm not signing like 30 plus customers in 1 month by being consistent, I'm failing. Like drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt that, because like literally, like even if I was enrolling customers, it wasn't enough. And if I was doing things that I was supposed to be doing, there had to be a result to that. And I had gotten to the point where it was, I would rather do bare minimum and then not see results than be doing everything and have like literally nothing else to give, aka burnout, aka all of the things I'm supposed to be doing are spreading myself way too thin, not taking care of myself, not paying attention to my husband, not paying attention to my son, and then not enrolling 100 million customers and distributors in 1 month. So it was so much easier for me to say I'm not enrolling because I'm not doing the things than to say I'm doing the things and I'm not seeing 1,000,001 enrollments in my eSuite. So if you can relate to that, like type it in the chat, because I feel like I've only come across a couple people that like were actually vocal about this, but I think it's something that we all feel, especially if you have any ounce of red or if you're really, really hard on yourself. Because I also had to find like a sense of security that success is not actually those millions and millions of enrollments. The enrollments are what gets you to the ranks. It's what gets you to the titles. But success is found in what you do every single day. And you can seriously, it doesn't matter if you've been in this business 30 days, 5 years, 4 years, 2 years. If you can say honestly that you have been doing exactly what you're supposed to do, we all know what that is. You know, the basics, which we'll talk about on Friday, but like posting, enrolling. If you are in a leadership position, checking in with your team, showing up to Zooms, doing the things that you know in your soul that you're supposed to be doing to see those enrollments, to be pushed forward in your business, you have success. You have success in knowing that you're doing your part and God's taking care of the rest. And that's something that is so critical in my journey, because once I found comfort in that and knowing I did my TikToks today, I did my drafts today, I posted today, I was in conversation today, I had people ghost me and not enroll, but that's okay because I did my part and I went to sleep knowing that I felt content with what I had done. And that took a lot of work to get to. Like I said, I'm really hard on myself. So sometimes I would, enroll like 5 customers a day and then be like, that's not enough. And I would like kill myself. So that took a little bit of personal development, a little bit of Girl Wash Your Face, and a whole bunch of different books. But learning to be okay with knowing that I did my part and God's taking care of the rest is what I really feel is like a big part of why people shy away from consistency, because they think they have to do everything themselves, which leads to burnout. And so much of my journey to this point, which I kind of talked about yesterday, was not me. It was God working in my heart and working in the hearts of those that were supposed to be brought to my businesses at specific times. So not seeing those enrollments, not seeing those people come in, had those people come in at the point where I was begging God for enrollments when I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. Not saying it's not good to enroll, but I would not have known how to take care of those people. I would not have known how to treat that customer correctly. So I'm reading the chat and it's like giving me scroll brain too. I gotta pop out of here. So I preach to my team so strongly. It's okay. Like, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? And I had this conversation recently with one of my girls that is shooting for Diamond and Above next month. She's like, I'm doing all the things. And I've seen her enroll mass customers. I know she knows how to do those. And I said, then it's okay. It's okay. You did your part today, and you're just going to do it again tomorrow and do it again tomorrow. And an easy way for me to hold myself accountable in my consistency every single day, if I found quickly that if I wake up and the first thing I do is hop on a power hour and get right into the checklist and the green and the green tasks and making sure that I'm in conversation and all those different things, it's like almost like discouraging for me. I found very, very strongly early on that I have to write my affirmations and I have to feel my affirmations before I'm doing the work. And that's the yellow in me, because it's so much easier to give up when you don't have a strong why in front of your face, or when you don't have something that you're actively pushing for every single day. And you could think that you have your why. I promise you, you don't. Ask yourself why you want that thing a couple times. There's like actually an exercise that you can find online, and it's like, why do you want to hit this rank? And they're like, because X, Y, and Z. And you're like, but why is that important to you? Why? And it's like, 7 layers deep. And it brings you to tears every single time. But I'll tell you what, every single time I've done that exercise, not thinking I had a reason to push, when I felt the guilt in my soul that I should be posting, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. When you're sitting there on the couch and you're like, crap, I didn't do this today. And you're like, meh, I'll do it tomorrow. But you feel so guilty. It's because that thing that you're pushing for is on the forefront of your brain. And you're saying that that's not enough for you, that that's not okay. So consistency is a means to getting what you desire, those goals that you want to achieve. You will never, ever get there by accident, especially Diamond and Above. I promise you, it takes every single day doing your best. And I promise you, the world goes on. If you're falling asleep and you're like, I didn't message and get my 10 hosted posts up today, I only got 9. Because that's me. I have to like put that out there. I only got 9 out. That's not good enough. And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I could stay up for another like 5 hours and try to find somebody that's up at 1:30 in the morning scrolling on Facebook that will post for me. But I mean, tomorrow's going to happen anyway. And I did what I felt was good enough to get ready for bed and go to sleep and feel comfort in that. And now I'm kind of rambling on. So I don't know if Macy or Cheyenne, you want to kind of pop in here and talk about your version of that. But consistency for me is just doing your best every single day and knowing that God will do the rest.
I just want to comment on you're so sweet, and I'm sure people can feel that. And one thing I'll add, and then I'll let Katie talk. I think people overcomplicate consistency a lot, and that's what I posted in the chat. And a lot of people are like, I don't have time. And there are so many times where you've heard people say, you have time. It's just, is it important to you? If your why isn't bringing you to the efforts of what you want, maybe change something around. And we just got off of a leader Zoom, and it was super, super beneficial, because she was like, instead of saying, hey, I want to put $50,000 in my savings. Well, instead of saying that, like, go extremely deep and ask yourself, again, like what Allie was saying, why? Like, ask yourself, what is that going to do for you? And when you're like, oh, it'll help me save for a house, but why? Why do you want that house though? And then when you're like, oh, well, I want that for my family, but why do you want your family to have such a nice house? And kind of go deeper and deeper and deeper until on the days that you're like, I don't want to do this, because let's be real. I mean, the work is fun. We love the work. I truly love what I do, but some days I wake up and I don't want to talk to my team. I don't want to send them encouraging messages. I don't want to sit here and post about the products and things like that, but it's just what you have to do, because even when you don't feel like it, push forward. And I promise you, you will wake up the next day and you're like, I'm so thankful I got that done. And God's going to bless you for that work. He has to have something to bless. You can't expect to be like, hey, God, can you give me 30 customers? And he's like, yeah, but where's the work behind it? So he has to have something to bless, and that's something that you have to think about too. So sorry, but Katie, if you want to go ahead and, move forward with what you were going to say.
I actually want to pop in really quick. I forgot something, and it's actually something that I kind of made fun for myself. It's become a lot easier to help newer distributors create consistency right off the bat. I kind of ask them about their life, obviously like talking to them and getting to know them. If you're doing FaceTimes with your team, then this is like a really good way to like find pinpoints of their life. Do they have a family? Do they have a job? And create a schedule for them that seems reasonable, that they are not going to, hang in limbo, jumping off of training and trying to figure out how in the world to make this business fit in their lives. Like if they work a full-time job and say, we do these power hours. I don't know about Cheyenne and Katie's team. I know that they have the journaling Zoom, but like say like, okay, so from this hour to this hour, give them a block time. We are going to do this. And then throughout your day, you can answer messages. And then maybe at nighttime when you put your baby down for bed, if you use names, it gives them like so much comfort. Then you can work on X, Y, and Z. And it's kind of like a baby schedule and a baby level to consistency, where they're not trying to figure out how to make all these tasks fit into their life. So Katie?
Okay, friends. So drop a 1 in the comments if you were convicted at all hearing any of them talk. Drop a 1. Convicted for something, right? Okay. Drop a 2 if you learned how to fix your problem. Drop a 2. Okay, we learned. Okay, so first off, write down right now what you were convicted for and exactly how you learned and who said it. Because let me just tell you that there's been so many times I've been on a Zoom and I've been convicted of something and I figure out how to fix it, and then I follow that leader. So I want you to go follow this leader on social media, see what they talk about, see the things that they do, because in this business, you're always going to be taught to copy the right cat. And if you just connected to somebody's vibe, then go follow them. Go follow them and find that person for yourself, because that's honestly what it took for me. Is I needed to find somebody who I could just kind of watch. And I know it's going to sound a lot like comparing yourself, but don't find somebody who is the total opposite of you. Okay, maybe they said something that clicked, but maybe that person can navigate you to somebody else that maybe fits more of your story. So if you're somebody with no kids and no husband and you're single and you just do the single life things, probably don't follow me, right? But if you relate to somebody single mom and stuff, and you struggle with consistency, and maybe you use a lot of your life and you're like, well, I'm just so busy with the baby, or I just have this, or I just have that. I'm telling you that you can still do it. It really just comes down to, do you really want it that bad or do you not? Because you heard their stories, you heard everything, and you guys heard kind of my story yesterday. Consistency was something I used to struggle with a lot. I struggled a lot with it because I was like, well, I have every excuse in the book. I have lost a loved one. I'm going through depression. I'm going through anxiety. I'm tired. I have a baby. Really, I could just have minimal things all the time and let my fiance at the time pay for things. I just wouldn't have the things that I wanted. Have you ever jumped to those conclusions? Well, I could just settle for this instead. That's still an excuse.
excuse. And 9 times out of 10, that excuse is going to come because you're too scared to commit to the work. And so the last thing, like, I'm not going to talk long. I'm just going to close and give you some fiery red things to just kind of keep in your brain tonight. But please don't be that person. Please don't be that person that goes into 2021 and you're like, I'm going to be so consistent and I'm going to change the whole world and I'm going to put this whole new schedule into my life and I'm going to be a whole new person. If you don't work out, please do not commit to 90 minutes of working out on January 1st. All right? Don't be that person. Don't be that person who hasn't worked for 3 months straight and then you want to add 25 things to your list. Please start planning now. Start writing things, kind of brainstorming different things, figure out what your plan is, because if you can just figure out a plan that's going to fit in with your day, do not change your whole life for it. But figure out what nuggets that you can put in and what things that you can flop around. Because it really just comes down to what kind of drive are you going to go into 2021 with? Because you could have not even done anything all year long and you can completely change your business in the next 30 days. But it really just comes down to, are you in, are you out? And if you decide right now, I was living proof. I was nothing in December and we went real fast. So I'm just telling you, if you're looking left and right and you're comparing yourself to everyone around you instead of just focusing on your business, being consistent and being really loud about what you're going for, you're doing it wrong. So please just don't be that person. Just be consistent, because we've all told you from experience and I hope you connect to somebody, but I think it's time. I'm sweating. So
same, girl. I'm wearing a scarf and I don't know why I did that. I'm sweating so bad.
Literally, why is it so hot? It wasn't hot a minute ago.
I do want to add on to you because it can kind of relate to all these different color personalities, whether you're blue, red, yellow, green, and kind of, going into the year 2021, there were years that I really missed out. And kind of like Katie said, sometimes you have those days where you're just like nothing or all or whatever. And I had those years where I missed out, and my blue self, I was like sitting in the sidelines and I was like, oh, this really hurts. Like, this doesn't mean like just suck on a, one little level. It's like cutting me deep. So for the blue in you who doesn't want to miss out, don't miss out. Do not be that person who waits another year and gets into more debt. And then the next year, and then the next New Year's, you're looking back and like, man, I wish I would have changed something. Don't be that person. For the yellow person, don't be selfish. Look at all those people's lives that you can change if you just stay consistent. If you just sit here and message every single day, if you get the host post up, because chances are there's someone who is really on the verge of diabetes and needs to lose weight. They just need something that's going to work for them. And guess what? Our products work. Someone needs the business because they can't afford a light bill. That was me at one point. My family didn't have running water, did not have groceries, did not have these things at certain times. And I had to call friends every single day saying, hey, can I take a shower at your house? And they'd be like, come on, they're used to it. The door's unlocked. And I'm like, oh, dang, this kind of sucks. It's kind of embarrassing. So don't be that person. And then for the red person, bro, make as much money as you can. I know money doesn't always have to motivate red. It can be a lot of other things, but for the most part, I'm red, like half red, half blue, half yellow. But make as much money as you can this year, because guess what? When you make that much money, you get to lead other people to success. You get to lead Zooms. You get to be a part of things. And also you get to bless others in areas that you could have never blessed people before. You get to give back to people you could have never given back to before. And you get to climb to new levels and show yourself what you're made of. And so for every color personality, green, I'm not necessarily green, but I don't know what type, of thing would speak to a green like this, but it just takes a consistent effort every single day. And I promise you're going to look back and be like, oh, this is what I prayed for. There were so many times I did not promote. I missed out on promotions. I missed out on bonuses. I lost rank. And it was not because of this business. And sometimes it just happens, but I can tell you it's because I thought I was being consistent. And I look back and I'm like, oh, and that's why my paycheck has went nothing but this the entire year. And you know what? It's because being consistent every single day. It's not because I go to bed at 10:30, you guys. I don't stay up until 2 or 3 a.m. I used to. And guess what? Those were my lowest paychecks when I did that. My heart didn't match my mind. And so it didn't match my efforts either. So just take that into word, and hopefully that really helps resonate with some of y'all, because 2021, let me just tell y'all, announcements are going to be amazing. And I am so freaking pumped. It's going to be a great year. Do not miss out. Be someone who's going to be shouted out on the stage.
Freaking I just literally was convicted whenever you said, like, I go to bed at 10:30 and whenever I stayed up until 2:30, those are my paychecks for the lowest. And I was like, whoa, because I feel you there. So it's like 10 out of 10. So I hope you guys took so much value from this tonight. I am just quickly going to share our beautiful income disclosure statement to close us out. Here we go. I'm gonna wait until I know it's there. Okay, beautiful. Make all the money. Okay, so remember, you guys,